Well, today is Sunday, day 198, and the truck is out of the garage, is outside, roof's on, and yeah. So in the shop, I'm working on the tailgate next, needs painted. I just finished up my light tower for the passenger side, that's all painted now. My next thing to work on is these small lights for the fenders, get those painted up, stripped. And then I have my gun mount to install here for the dashboard. Here's a new fuel pump I bought, and I don't need it actually, which is good. It's a nice spare to have at this point. I got another case of paint from Rapco, for the wheels, the back bed, and touch-ups. So let's run that with my stuff in the garage. Mirrors need to go on. That's about it. So let's go outside and see the truck. So roof's on, but it's not bolted down yet. I just clamped it so wind can't take it off. But I need to unbolt the bottom, bolt the top, bolt them back up. 2 center bolts, that's it. That's it for the hardtop. Doors are on, new pins, except I forgot to put the mirrors on. So I gotta take one pin out at a time, put the mirrors on. Door handle's on. This is my broken handle. Seems like it works, but it doesn't. So it's just for looks. On the inside it works, no problem. You got the intake on, the side panels loosely on. I finished up everything inside here. I put that adapter I made for my wire for my on-off switch. So there's one thing I did there, and then my manifold controller up top that puts fuel into the intake here. I didn't have that threaded in at the time at the engine shop, so I had to tear that apart and clean it, dissolve gunk inside, and reinstall it. So I did that last night. That's done. So with that, I'm done inside here. I can put the light in here still, of course. Secure the grill. I have my grill guards. Much as I like the look we have here going on, I'm putting the guards on just because that radiator is expensive, especially that bottom section. So that's what needs done here. Hooks I have painted, but I have new ones that came with my truck when I bought it, like on trade. I got new hooks here, and of course the hooks up there are missing, so I got those at least. Hood ornament, my Eagle. I like it from this angle of the truck from the front, when it's, well, you should see it of it, but when we look from the back view forward, it doesn't look that good on the truck. Whatever, it's my truck, my choice. An Eagle. So, no, secured. Bolted down, re-threaded the threads, and put spacers, and that's secure. Plus, it's helpful. When you want to lift the hood, push that in, and just lift up on the beak. Strong enough. Alright, that's it for that. In here, we're all done, except for bleeding the fuel out, which I made a short video. It's getting a lot of air in the system. So it's not pumping fuel out. I tried to pressurize the system with my air compressor. It's just not enough pressure. And I found out one reason why it wasn't happening at all, because I pulled the fuel pump out and the hose wasn't even attached to the pump. So if it was even turned on, it'll just pump back in the tank, not come out at all. So that was one of the main problems. But another thing is, I think this controller is working fine. This works fine when you pull on the cable, but when you push the cable back in, this is still staying out, which is not a problem. Keeps it shut off, but without the hood open, I don't know about that stuck open. So that's a small problem. Alrighty, I've been up all night. I did not sleep last night. So the door's all on. I'm gonna retouch up the paint. There's some minor drips when I did the spray gun. The whole truck was excellent, except for the doors. I made some drips. So some more sanding to do and touch up paint. This handle's on and it does work, which I'm happy. At least my side works. That works. Of course, on the inside you can open it and then lock it. So at least that works. This door, I've already touched the paint on the inside. That's done. So nice and touched up. Alright, inside here we got my nut majorly. The threads are horrible. Could not get the nut back on, so I had to use my small grinder and remove the first thread, just so hammered down. The next thread I kind of chamfered it, so I lost 2 threads of my shaft. But at least I have a shaft, or at least I have some more threads. So it goes on, not the best in a way, but I got thread there and there. So I don't know, I got 1/4 inch or less. It's a 1/2 inch total thread, so I lost about half. It's on, it's tight. It'll do. As long as I can press the wheel down with that spring there, hopefully, it should be good. For extra additive bonus, my machinist wants to drill holes on the side of these sides and install set screws with pointy tips so they can bite into the threads to hopefully retain pressure as an extra bonus. Like, the nut's good shape, good threads, just the shaft threads are so worn out and of course just beat on. So that's all I gotta do with that. I did order a new one of these. It's in the box of the seat belts, all fully green, not this tan color. I got that. That's installed a new one for the wipers. Pedals, I got the return springs on last night. Had a friend help me, so I have brake and clutch return put on. That's about it for in here. Now for the handbrake. Handbrake is working excellently. I of course made a video, posted it. I have chocks on right now, but that's on. And then I had to put spacers for some reason. I have to. It's not factory, of course, but it's what it works. Return springs on the correct location. You need to put a cotter pin through here. I didn't know about that. Cotter pin, I put a small washer so it doesn't pull through. And yeah, that's there, hooking on. Some posts I've seen it go on this side of the arm or this side of the arm. I think this side just seems better for the system. You're kind of forcing that spring to be bended. I don't know. So that's all. That's what I've done there. And we're done down here. Otherwise, I need to grease the grease fittings on the handbrake before the bed goes on. So I have to use the axis right now. Alright, let's go to the back side now. We're about halfway down here. So I get the hitch on last night. I used my neighbor's magnetic drill. Drills up to 1.5 inch size holes. Just one shot. Don't have to do a small hole or a big hole. Just one shot it. So worked good. I use a Forject for assistance. It's pretty heavy. Magnet can't really hold itself. But nonetheless, they're drilled. They're on. Never had a problem except for that middle one. It kind of kept walking. I lost center, but turns out the hole worked out good. So good. Next thing is you have airlines back here. Service and brake airlines. And I didn't want to remove the fittings. This one on the passenger side is easiest. You have a piece here and a union. But driver's side, it's one piece line. So I can't even pull that off. So what I've done is just get some stock steel plate, anything that's plate, and just ram it between the frame and the airline. And then when I drill the holes, since this is not loose, you hear that rattling. It's trying to drill into it. Oh, stop. The hole's drilled. It's gonna blast through the airline. So that worked as a trick. Then get the bolts in. Got that one in no problem. That one I had to force the line out, put the bolts, put the line back in, same as that one. That's all I could do. But then that one, of course, you can't. There's a union right above. So I put the bolt up vertical with enough spacers of washers to not have threads hit the lines. So it's on. I started to make it tight because 2 in the morning I got this done, so I don't want to make noise. So I'm going to do that the rest of the video. That's that. This back pin, not a big deal, but before I had a M38A1 Jeep clevis pin installed on a deuce hit shackle. So wrong diameter, wrong length. The cotter pin was super tight up against this, not anymore. Plenty of slack. So I went to Grainger for $2, bought a whole new pin. It was too long, shortened it, drilled a hole, done. I could have bought surplus for like 15-20 bucks. It's like, I'm gonna go cheap out here, but still quality. It's made for towing anyway, so I saved some money there. I'm not gonna use it that often because I have a pedal hitch. It's my main tugging point, and I have a receiver hitch for trailers, civilian trailers. That's that. Next thing is, this tire has lost all its air for some reason. From sitting in the garage for months, working on the front of the truck for a while, held it are fine. I show some signs of it getting lost in some air. Truck's leaning to one side, not horribly. As soon as I get the truck outside last week with the tractor, roll it out, all the way back, push it forward down the hill, and then pull back, and then pull forward again. And the whole process in about 15 minutes. I went from just a slight bulge in the bottom to fully flat. So yeah, it's fully flat now. And so I didn't want to put any pressure on the tube. Sometimes you can tweak the tube a bit. I don't know. I just don't want something to happen. So right away I put a bottle jack on the axle to hold it up so it doesn't get damaged sitting here. I'm going to put air in it and see what happens. Find leaks of some soap spray. But for sure, when it was leaking out, I noticed it right away, and I could feel air out of the valve stem. So I think it's a valve stem problem. I think it's the internal thing you screw in place. I think that's the problem. Plus, no valve cap. And the cap could prevent some leakage. But yeah, that's what's on the tire. My hope for the tire is use this for my spare tire. Because ever it goes, I ever need a spare, I can always onboard air, fill it up, have a spare tire. And then second, that's all my options I have. Then I'm going to Findlay next week in Ohio, near Toledo. And I'm going to have a whole shopping list of things to buy. And my goal is to buy at least 2 more tires and wheels. At least 2 wheels. But tires would be nice. But I have tires up top, 4 brand new ones. I just don't want to mount them. Or a pain to dismount and remount. And this tire has plenty of life left. It might be just a bad tube, but it's still a hassle. I'd just pay $100 for the whole thing already set up already. So that's my goal there. Next big last thing is fuel tank. It's done now. So I had to pull this whole unit out, but not a big deal. Again, I did catch the hose was not even hooked on, so of course it wasn't again pumping fuel. On top of that, the block was totally destroyed. So I pulled this out, put it on the workbench. I put this whole thing off. I had to just beat on it. The studs all broke. And then I got my new block. Here's a new block I bought. I wired up the wire down below, and sure enough, I can hear it hooked it up to the truck here on the side. It's pumping. I hear it working. So that's good news. It works. So that means the block's bad. Of course, I knew it was just totally junk. Connection points are lost. Fuse is broken. So yeah, I'm glad I got a new block. It fixed the problems. That means the old pump still works, and I have a new one on the bench just for backup. So I'm good here. So I went ahead and just degreased and cleaned the whole thing. Any gunk and sludge in the side of the pump. Made sure I had good ground, so I just water wheeled the whole plate, so I have good ground and good seal. I don't know, just usual. And then these studs, I went ahead and watered on the bottom, and so they can hold in place. So that's on. Except I noticed one problem. After welding them on, I'm glad my gas is not working that well. Yes, you could pull this thing off vertically to replace that fuse, which could fail at some point. But the wire inside from this pump going through the block to connect to a smaller screw, that's only that tall. I need to be like almost that much to get it off these studs. I can shorten the threads a little bit and still wouldn't help. So yeah, if the fuse blows, you got to take the whole thing off. Probably not designed that way for my wire's too short, but at least the new pump, if that does fail, it has a whole new wire that's tall enough. So for future, we're good. But yeah, that's the pump, and it works. And then I did some seal, a gasket, we're good. This one screw just want to tighten down, the rest did, no problem. I have a good ground, I did bare steel to the frame, so that's all good. And then the wire goes across. I know it's supposed to go through there, but it's a pain to remove all the lines. I don't want to damage a line in the process, so it's like I have extra wire, go across, and just chop off the extra wood so there's no way it could get pinched. So that's what I did there. That's about a wrap up for my truck. Now, on the board, what is to do left? So, bolt the hardtop down. My front cab bolts, I've still not done those. I need help. No one's around to help me. Seat belts, I have a whole new set of the box. Mirrors on, pull the pin, put the door back on. Strip my wheels, tailgate, and the lights. Just my front fender lights left. Headliner in once that's bolted down. And then once the wheels are painted, put the locking hubs on. And that's my list, what I got right now to do. And of course, you can bleed the fuel system, now the pump works. So I could fire it up down and see what happens. I could do that too. That's about it. Now, this morning, well, again, I was up all night, but I did go inside, take a nap for 4 hours to get some rest. I woke up and checked my phone, and my Facebook Messenger's having problems. All right, fine. Log me back in. I logged back in, and it doesn't help at all still. Meta's not happy. Go to main Facebook. Can't get in. So right away, I just searched Google, is Facebook down my area or something? And a few reports, 12,000 reports being down. All right, that's fine. Go to Instagram. I try to log in. Doesn't work. Do a two-factor account login. I got in, but you're saying your account's disabled for no apparent reason. Nothing in the rules I've done wrong. Doesn't state what I've done wrong. I just hate Meta. Back then, when I first got onto Facebook and Instagram, they're separate entities. Now they're joint with Meta. It's like, really? So when Instagram fails, my Facebook fails. I don't care if Facebook gets lost and gone. I don't care about Instagram. I'm on there just to scroll through and Jeep pictures and stuff and post my stuff. And that's it. Facebook I really care about. I sell stuff on there, on the groups for help. That's why I joined Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook like all my other friends are. They're not. But I'm on there for RC cars, RC airplanes, and all my Jeep stuff in the marketplace to sell stuff. And that has vanished away because it's joint accounts with Meta. And of course, you can do appeal. I appealed, and I said, "Oh, we'll get back to you in 2 days." Nope. Within an hour later, account disabled for both. So I've lost both my social media accounts, which makes me more sense of freedom off social media. That's great. But I had chats going on Facebook for selling stuff and meet up at Findlay and parts I'm selling. It's like, ouch, that hurts. So that's for my Hotmail account. It's set up, and I actually don't want my Hotmail no more. Hotmail's having login problems as well on my phone device. Only my laptop works. It's like, screw it. Like, I really just want to get a Hotmail too, so just delete that too and transition over to the old Google platform. So I'm going to see if I can have a Gmail account through Facebook. I've had Facebook problems before, and I've used other emails I had, so we'll see that tonight. But I do have sense more freedom here, but it does lose my ability to sell. It does lose my ability to interact and ask questions and post and share. But I at least have YouTube here. That's my main thing I'm on. I post when I can, but mainly I'm just there to listen and watch videos. And so at least YouTube's still active. That's good. Well, yeah, I just sucks. But sense of more freedom, but yeah, lost too. Instagram I don't care anymore. I've deleted my main Kyle's Jeep Adventures account, 5,000 posts, 10,000 followers. When I sold Jenny, or traded Jenny for the Deuce, all his people that are friends with the guy he did the trade with gave me so much negativity about my Jeep Jenny. I've restored it to a point like the dashboard. I know the dashboard, I was going to reconfigure the dashboard and redo the layout eventually that coming winter. October when we did the trade, so 3 more months away, I was going to clean the dashboard up, make it pretty. Well, when he got it, it was all electrical taped for wires and like looks sketchy, which it was, but it worked. I knew eventually I would fix it in the wintertime coming up. The transmission slips. Okay, it's just the forks are bad in the shifter. I had the rebuild kit with me as well. It's like I was prepared to do it. And then he kept again negativity like that patina's fake patina on Jenny. Like, yes and no. Jenny's patina was real on the hood, the hardtop, the one door, the back bed, the fenders. Beautiful patina was from burgundy to craftsman red to locomotive blue at GE back in 1955. So in 6 years, I've gone through 3 different paints on that truck, and then from 55 through present, it's all real patina. And when I got it, I had to do some rust repairs and I got a color match at Sherwin-Williams, the same brand I used back in the 50s. But yeah, color match and made it nice and pretty versus when I first got it. But yeah, it's real and not, I guess. But just got offended about that and so much else. It's like nearly off 2 people he had negative. I'm done. And commenting on my other posts, like, I just don't like this anymore. I'm off. Froze my account on Instagram. It's like, I'm done. Freeze it for a bit. And then sure enough, I just totally locked it up in just December. It's like, I'm done. Made a new account through Meta. Same account, but new account of, yeah. That worked. It's more settled now. No bad negativity, and that's fine. But yeah, it's now this problem, which I don't know why. So, whatever. I'm off Instagram for good. Snapchat, I'm not on Snapchat. TikTok, I don't understand TikTok. Twitter, I don't like doing feeds of Chow or X. So I'm not on those either. So really just Facebook at this point and YouTube. And so I gotta make a new Facebook account again. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And we just bought a house next door for myself to move into. Mom and Dad don't think I'm ready to move in yet, which I kind of understand. But it has a nice 30 by 70 foot shop, 12-foot ceiling, so I'm starting to gather up tooling and workbenches, a ridge rack to move in myself. The Deuce has a home now to live in. I do want to do my dream Jeep. That's my next build, is about that dream Jeep. I got a few changes, like using a Dodge M37 cab and hood and chassis, but that's all. Everyone else is going to be Jeep and Hemi or Cummins and Dana axles. Yeah, that's an easy 20-30 grand build. So my goal is to keep my Deuce for a year, have fun, do what I want, and hopefully I can sell for 25K. I'm 22K into it. Sell it to use that money to go start that build. And then I'm going to have a side-by-side, so I have a side-by-side Jeep build, a mini crawler, and then my full-on daily driver beast. So that's my setup I want to have. I already got a tractor. Dad's giving me the Kubota. So I already have a tractor to mow grass, so we're all set. I just don't have the primary vehicles. Yeah. Anyway. And also for Bantam too. I'm pushing myself for Bantam. Like I even erased it. Like I just don't care anymore. It's where I'm still gonna go to Bantam anyway with my daily driver, my RC car Jeep. Go there Saturday at least. But with the Deuce, I'm rushing at it and doing well. Everyone's impressed. But I feel like I'm taking some minor shortcuts here in some ways, and I don't see any shortcuts yet, but they could happen soon within the next 2 weeks. Bantam's about 3.5 weeks out. And so it's like, if this fuel pump, I know it works, but will it pressurize the system and hopefully it will fire up on its own diesel? That's my unknown right now. Everything else is pretty much straightforward. But even still. Well, I got the Deuce. I'm going to Bantam in June. I told myself I want a 2-week buffer. So I have 2 weeks. Okay, from now, this point to a week and a half from now, it's all finished. Now I have 2 weeks to test drive and tune, drive the work, break in the truck, break in the motor, and try to find its torques and what's wrong, what needs tightened up, and part breaks, order it, have time to order it, have it delivered and installed. That's my 2-week buffer. And that gives me a week and a half for that buffer to happen, which is doable if I had help. But I'm going to keep pushing through and see how far I go. But again, it's that buffer I want to have, but also just to have I watch Mike Patey on YouTube. He does aviation, crazy $250,000 custom aircraft builds for stall or racing or turbines. He's got money for toys, but rule of thumb for him is when he's flying, 3 strikes are out. So 2 strikes is all I want to have. So I had bad weather today flying, strike 1. Strike 2, I'm starting to feel tired in flights, long hour flights, strike 2. All right, I'm done. Go land. Strike 3, something could fail. That's more horrible. So if 2 strikes for me is I'm rushing at this and I could miss something. So strike 1. And then strike 2 for me is tow truck bill. This breaks down. I'm taking Route 8 all the way down. It's a nice slow road to take, not I-79 down to Bantam. I trust the motor from the rebuild shop. That's why I paid the guy, and he does things well for the last 40-some years doing rebuilds. So I trust the motor. It's the brakes I don't trust, but emergency handbrake works. When I got the truck in October, the handbrake did not work at all. So I leveled up that sense of security, but I trust my truck. I made it from here from Kansas, so I trust it. But, well, that was 190 some days ago, and now I have a whole different motor. So, yeah, the most of all my Jeeps I've owned, 35 Jeeps, 7 of them I've restored. The most I've driven my Jeeps probably was 3 hours of distance. From here to Franklin, hour and a half plus an hour and a half return trip and a hailstorm. Let's go into a reenactment. Yeah, I still made it down there and back. It's the most Jeep I've done in Hawkeye. And then my Jeep YJ95, of course, it's modern, but yeah, I drove that to work every few often. So that was a nice Jeep, but that lost oil pressure, blew its motor up. And then Jenny only ever made like 30 miles and breaks down. Fuel problems. But yeah, that's all. Making progress. To me, progress is progress. No matter how, I don't know. I'm tired. So, alrighty, that's all for my video. So, alrighty. Thanks for watching.